Okay. So coming back to what are the documents that the customer will need to submit, this is all the customer documents that they will need to submit with all the forms. Then, but one thing is for both MyWeb and the customers, the clinics, they do not need to open an account with BSN. So there's no BSN account requirement from this grant. So even that the grant will actually release the document to MyWeb, right? They will just actually transfer to our Maybank account. So we do not need to open any additional account for this
Sebab
grant.
I faham pada Selin cakap kita kena buka BSN account.
Tak perlu lah. Okay, this is as far as I actually checked with the BSN. They say they do not need. But again, can double confirm again because of sometimes our government or this whatever whoever like in charge of this grant, right? They can be blur also give you the wrong information. So, but as far as I actually call on and check with them, right? They say do not need to open account. But that one is not your concern also, lah, Shafan. So no worry on that because of by the time that we actually started with client actually applying for all these things, we will actually make sure that there's an account for them to bank in the money. So no problem. Okay. So coming to how to actually claim, right? Okay, the flow chart, I need the simple flow chart also lah. First, MyWeb will need to issue a quotation or invoice to the customers. So then, because of the customer will need to actually submit together when they're actually applying for this grant. So you need to give them a quotation or invoice. If let's say the customer haven't actually, we haven't even delivered the things, then we normally don't issue invoice. So we actually issue the quotation. So then the customer will actually submit the application form and also the required documents to BSN office. So it's based on the clinic location. Like for example, if let's say the clinic is actually located in Selangor, then they will need to submit to Shah Alam office. So later I will actually work up the list as well, whereby to give to your client, if let's say that they actually located in Penang, where they should submit the document. So they will need to actually submit the documents, not MyWeb. We don't actually submit on behalf because first.
Oh, sebab I dapat information daripada Selin, kita yang kena submit.
Okay, that's why
client, saya sudah ada satu klien. Klien ni dah hantar dokumen dekat kita pun, minta kita submit. Okay. BSN pun cakap kita yang kena submit dekat orang.
Okay, I would actually double confirm with BSN again because I already called them. They actually told me that the customer would need to submit. And in fact, when I checked with my friend who also a solution provider, as I mentioned just now, their customer also submitted by themselves. We don't submit on behalf. Actually, after I talked to BSN guy, right, I also don't think that we able to help them to submit because of the company is actually, if let's say located in Penang, macam mana saya nak hantar untuk mereka kan, because I'm so far from Penang also. So that's why I think it's logic also if let's say the customer will need to submit by themselves. So I will actually double confirm, but this is I already confirmed. In fact, I already called again. I will actually double confirm again, then give you the final document. But whatever that the customer already submit to you, and since you already asked the customer to submit to you, that only one customer can also try to submit for the customer lah. If let's say the customer is also only located in Selangor, so tekan-tekan saja boleh tolong dia submit lah. But for future clients, right, don't ask the document from them. Ask them to submit by themselves. Boleh ya?
Okay.
So the customer, right, will then receive an email from BSN once the application is approved. So the application is manual. Then the customer also receive an email in a way is manual. So there is no system for them to check on the status for your information. So walaupun mereka buat satu yang digitalization punya grant, BSN sendiri pun tak ada yang digital punya proses. Everything manual.
Biasanya kena ambil grant ni lah untuk upgrade.
Yeah, we should actually talk to them to help them to digitalize the flow. So the flow is very manual. So at the end, customer submit, they will receive the email, tetapi email tak tahu spam sampai bila baru akan dapat yang itu email. So once they actually receive the email, then they be notified that it's approved. Tetapi tak keluar wang lagi ya. So the wang tak tahu bila akan keluar. So there is no way for the customer to actually even to know when that the supplier receive the payment. The only one channel is there will be a person in charge that will receive the payment. Sorry, not sorry. The person in charge of that account will be able to update you the status. So jadi the customer or my WAM will need to call to the person in charge of this account to check on the status. So sangat manual. That's why we don't want to take the risk in that sense that we don't actually collect 50% and waiting the 50% to be released by PSN. So what we're actually going to tell the customer, right, which is the fourth point, my web receive full payment from customer upon full delivery of the product and services. So which is like same practice right now, 50% upon confirmation, 50% upon delivery. We will receive the full payment from customer when we render our full service and products. So then later, when only MyWeb receive the 50% or 5,000 from PSN, MyWeb will refund the payment to customer within 14 days. Actually, I purposely put the 14 days, but this one I will need to double confirm with Celine whether that is doable. Maybe 14 days or 28 days. Then we have to actually refund it to the customer. Any question at here? Open for question. Other question? Any question?
Progress flow ni kita yang punya flow lah maksudnya, bukannya BSN-nya flow kan?
Actually, based the only tune that I did in terms of the flow is that we will receive the full payment from customer and we refund later on. But if let's say as per what PSN state, right? PSN actually asking the customer to pay the 50% or whichever like balance then the granted, which is a 50 or 5,000, will pay to the supplier later on. Tetapi kami tak nak buat macam tu. Okay, first thing, we don't know when the PSN is going to pay. Then the second the second thing is you also in a way will not get your commission because of you haven't received the full payment. So to what we actually will tell the customer is that we are the granted supplier for this grant. Hence, you can actually apply and high chance you will get it as well. But it's just that you take it as a bonus. Memang you cakap macam tu. Actually, same thing like actually last Saturday, right? I received the inquiry from the customer because of the customer also has seen the Dr. Assist punya posting. Dia call I because he already know me lah. So he called me, he said that, for the new branch, my existing branch also, I want to actually change to Dr. Assist. So I know that you actually can get, you will be able to apply the grant for me. So I told the customer, is like, yes, we actually having this facility, but then customer take it as a bonus kerana I already heard from, I say to the customer, government process very slow. I upfront tell the customer is like the government process very slow but it's just that at the end it's good also. At least you get subsidy. It's just that the subsidy will come later. Then the customer say, okay, I understand. It's okay. So I think customer will take it as a bonus so the customer also can accept it. So the customer at the end sebenarnya dia nak buka system. Dia bukan like must get the subsidy from government punya, but he actually also happy because of at least subsidized So you have to prepare, you have to explain to customer so that the customer understand that okay, even that next year only I get the 5,000 back, I'm also happy. But if let's say the customer say, wait, now I totally have no money to pay the 50%, yang itu customer susah sikit So then you have to handle it in terms of budget wise. In terms of money wise, like customer until to the extent the other money nak bayar pun sekarang ni, then I think it's also quite susah lah for this kind of client. But as long as you prepare the customer, I think the customer should be okay.
Okay.
Got any questions? If let's say no, I
Cuma
just
flow yang ni tadi tu, maksudnya kita dah boleh cakap dengan klien ke this one only proposal and need approval by Mr. Dana and Celine? Clarify.
This one, right? I would actually get the approval from Dana and Celine, because Celine also involved in the payment flow. But then I still haven't actually yet to present this thing to her lah. So I will actually like send to her. She check on it. If let's say that from finance point of view, okay to release, then only I send to you and Chloe the final one. But I would say the flow more or less this will be the flow. And Dana, I've actually verbally checked with him. He also prefer to receive the full payment from customer first.
Okay.
Yeah, and in a way, I don't see it's a super big issue because of anyhow it's not very competitive in terms of clinic management system lah. If let's say you are selling auto count, you will be challenged by the customer because of there are like 50 suppliers of auto count in the market. So jika you nak customer full payment first, maybe the customer will say that never mind I buy from another supplier who will actually pay for me who will actually ask me to pay only 50%. Then you memang going to lose the case. But Doctor Assist, we are the only service provider so to care also.
Then kita boleh demand sikit lah.
We memang like got advantage. One thing because of we are training management. Doctor Assist, nobody selling beside you and me. So they cannot bargain with other people also. Then the second point is that even clinic system, we are the only one in the list also. So they cannot say that, oh, because Glucose can do this for me, then I don't want to buy Doctor Assist. At the end, if let's say they really betul-betul nak pakai satu system, they will just buy from you lah, because of it's not something that, I want to get a Glucose, then later certain things that not fulfill, so they won't go for Glucose, even that Glucose is actually one of them. But at the end, we are the only one in the list. So you must tell the customer, it's like we are the only one in the list. That's why I take it as a bonus in that sense. So no bargain, no argument. But coming to, I have actually two more, one last point to actually emphasize to Shaman and also Bonnie, in the sense that when you propose this to customer, right, and the customer actually would like to apply for this grant, try to maximize it, the bill to 10,000. So how to maximize to 10,000, right? You can actually suggest the customer to take additional module from us, like for example, queue display system, online appointment, WhatsApp feature, call backup, DAO website. Okay, maybe I should add on one entitlement. So all these things you can actually ask the customer to add on to make it 10,000. So if let's say
SMS.
SMS pun boleh. Actually, whatever currently in your list, you can ask the customer to top up to make it 10,000.
Their support boleh ke? Have their support.
Support, right? I not suggest you to put it in if let's say can because of help desk support, right? Is help desk support. So after all, the customer will actually subsequently also subscribe to it lah. But if let's say that you want a customer to make it like complete solution, they can really start using the maximize of module, which is good for their marketing, like for example SMS, WhatsApp feature, online appointment. So all these things, right, will actually
line not clear, breaking.
Apa ni? Sorry?
Line breaking.
Line breaking again. Oh, I'm not moving tetapi masih macam tu. Can hear now we are going to finish soon as well.
Okay.
Much better.
Okay. If let's say even that your customer actually subscribe to DA Cloud subscription, which is the number 3 point, right? You can suggest the customer to advance paying for 5 to 7 years, depending what kind of what kind of subscription they are going for. Like for example, even if they're actually paying the promotion price 180 per month per clinic, right? You can even ask the customer to put in 5 years subscription. So basically 5,000, right, subsidized by the government. The customer only need to pay 5,000 each for 5 years. So sebenarnya at the end of the day, they also they also benefited if let's say they sign up for advanced years for the subscription. And I've already checked with BSN, the bank who actually in charge of this grant, right? They said to me is I can for subscription they can sign up for advanced years, not only for this year. They can actually sign up for 3 years, 5 years, then submit the invoice or quotation to the grant to get the payment. Okay, this one got question?
For the subscription one, nak tanya you, macam I ada klien sekarang ni dia dah pakai subscription ni, additional soalan lain lah ni. Dia dah beli kita punya cloud model lah. Lepas tu dalam 1-2 bulan ni kalau dia cakap sistem kita okey, dia nak tukar kepada client server. Macam mana? Kira tu you tahu ke?
Ayo, yang itu I think a bit complicated. Okay, after all, right, it's not complicated. I mean, if let's say it's not involving the grant, right? It's just a question. If let's say the customer want to change to client server, that one is straightforward in the sense that whatever paid for the subscription is paid for the subscription. So the customer, if let's say now want to change to client server, the customer will need to pay for the client server pricing. So let's say the customer already subscribed for 6 months. Then now client want to change to client server, the customer will still need to pay, let's say 5,000 or 4,002 or whatever package for client server. Then the customer pay now for this client server base, then which whatever that in the package, the customer will enjoy. Like for example, help desk support for 1 year free. We can count from that month onwards for another 1 year. Okay
Tapi maksudnya tak boleh, contohnya lah, dia sudah bayar 1 tahun, dah pakai 2 bulan, 2 bulan tu macam kita sudah pakai RM240 lah. So macam ada lagi 800 tu tak boleh deduct ke yang package yang baru?
To me, right, it should be able to deduct lah. But then this one, I'm not too sure how finance this thing. Yeah, but to me, right, yes, the customer will need to pay for the client server, but then there's no like deduction. Like for example, the customer pay 1,200 for 1 year, but then now use for 6 months, then want to deduct the 1,000.
I nampak isu ni juga akan jadi bila macam you cakap lah, kalau dia dah subscribe setahun, lepas tu tahun kedua tiba-tiba harga naik 300, daripada 120 jadi 300. So instead of dia bayar 300, dia cakap baik dia beli terus ya.
I already checked with Dana. So basically subscription is subscription. Subscription is like whereby unless okay, there's actually for now we don't have this thing whereby we sign a contract with the client.
Line breaking.
Okay, this one is a separate topic. It's not about this grant for the SME Digitalization Initiative. So then we don't continue from here lah. But then I will actually answer.
Okay lah, yang ni dah habis lah.
Yeah, habis lah.
Kita stop lah yang ni.
Yes. Since the line also not too good, but to your question, right, I will actually reply you in the WhatsApp group. In the WhatsApp group, yeah, this one is actually pretty straightforward. I already checked with Dana also. Okay, thank you very much, Shafan and Bowie. So I will actually send you.
Thank you.
And also, I will actually send you a final one after I've actually getting the approval from Celine and also Dana on this recommendation or the flow. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.